Alright, what's going on, folks? I am headed out to the lease just to do a little bit of work on the property, and I figured I'm stuck in the truck for a couple hours, so I might as well just do some vloggy stuff and we can kind of sit here and chat for a little bit. And I was thinking about all the other YouTubers. There's so many out there, but the ones that I admire, or the ones that I regularly watch, or the ones that have been meaningful to me. And that's going to be people who do stuff kind of in the same categories that I do, but also some completely different topics. So I think in terms of guys who are way different than me, or at least I consider to be, I think Ray William Johnson kind of got it all started for me. I don't know if you guys remember Ray. He was like the first big YouTuber. He was a college student. He was just making videos in his dorm room. Mostly he was just finding other videos on YouTube and just making fun of them. And he kind of started a theme that basically Tosh.0 copied Ray's video format. And then Ray didn't really adapt and change. And then he got some other co-hosts that weren't as good. And then he just kind of petered out. But that was back when I was in college. And I think I was in probably Ray's first 1,000 subscribers, and he was the first like big vlogger to get to like millions of subscribers. So he kind of was an inspiration, and that just, you know, a guy who's just a college student who speaks his mind and, you know, just tries to be fun and keep it light, and that you can actually do something here. And it wasn't about making the money, but it was more about just the idea that this platform allows you to just express those ideas and just have fun with it and be yourself. So he was probably the first big YouTuber that caught my attention. There are some other channels that I follow recently that are way different than that. Like if you look at vloggers, of course, guys like Casey Neistat, who kind of established what a lot of modern vlogging stuff really is. Of course, that's influential, and I followed him for a while, but kind of got annoyed by it. But some other channels that are not really vloggers that I follow and really like, I think the first one that comes to my mind is SV Delos. So they were like the first big sailing channel on YouTube. And now there's a whole bunch like Sailing the Vagabond and a whole bunch of other channels like that are very similar. And I can't necessarily say, you know, one's copying the other, because, you know, they're all enjoying the same lifestyle and just putting their own take on it, and that's fine. Because people could say, yeah, sure, I'm copying other people out there, but not really. I'm just trying to speak my mind, and there are other people who enjoy the same hobbies as me. But SV Delos, they publish a video every single Friday, and I find myself just really looking forward to it. So they're sailing around the world. It's two brothers who saved up, bought a boat. One guy, his girlfriend sails with them, and they have a whole bunch of other friends that just join along for various legs of the adventure. And I think right now they're finishing up crossing the Atlantic, headed towards Brazil. And all their episodes, they just find some island, explore, have a fire, catch some fish, cook them. They talk about, you know, repairing the boat, all the crazy adventures they have, snorkeling, scuba diving, all in the context of a sailing adventure. And it's a really cool channel. Another channel I really like is Brock Gill. Sorry, that's my radar detector going off. Definitely a must for driving through Dallas or other metropolitan areas. But I really like Brock Gill. So Brock is an illusionist, and every single video he usually shows some cool trick or illusion and then has a really cool Christian message with it. So check out Brock Gill on YouTube. In terms of other YouTubers who are kind of more like my style, I really like Hushin. So I think they're from Idaho and Utah, and they go out, and I think the idea of Hushin, I don't know, I'm always confused at the name of their actual group, if it's Hush or Hushin. It started as a combination of hunting and fishing, but now they've kind of added a bunch of other stuff into it as well. But they're from Idaho and Utah, and they got me really inspired with their videos that are just mountain hunting for elk and mule deer, and then they're going out and trout fishing in mountain streams, and really cool content. And Eric from Hushin also has his own channel, Eric Chesser Outdoors. I think maybe it was a channel that he used to run a long time ago, and then he got involved with Hushin and couldn't really do that, but now he's picked it back up, so he's basically full-time doing both of those. But his own stuff's pretty cool as well. Of course, I like Demo Ranch. I think that stuff was pretty inspirational to my video content, just because it's the same lifestyle. I live in Texas. I drive a truck. I shoot guns. I go fishing. It's the same lifestyle. So definitely influential. Same with Lunkers TV. Lunkers is pretty cool in that it's my same area, and he did not have a big following, and then he blew up real big. And so he's got some cool content. Of course, a lot of the other gun channels that everybody has always seen as a go-to, Nothing Fancy, I think is pretty foundational. And some people say that all these gun vloggers kind of all copied Nothing Fancy. I wouldn't say so. I would say Nothing Fancy started the trend that getting your own personal experience and your own opinions out there is valuable, especially when you stand behind them. And that's the core idea of his channel. And there are a lot of other channels who do a similar thing, but don't necessarily copy his opinions. Because there are some things that I completely agree with him on. A lot of things, actually. And a lot of things where I would completely disagree. And that's the value of that type of content, is you get lots of different opinions. And I would say a lot of people complain that Nothing Fancy is kind of full of himself and a little arrogant, and I wouldn't say so, just because I think that's how it can come off when you're saying, hey, my opinion is valuable because of my experience. And people could probably just say the same thing about me, but that's why I talk about gear and my experience with it, because, you know, I've used it. I go out there, I run gear till it breaks. I find out what's good and what's not, and that's why I think my opinions are valuable. So it can come off as arrogance, but I really hope it doesn't on my personal channel. Just because I've seen people comment to that regard about Nothing Fancy. And then some of the other gun presentation channels. Military Arms channel, Tim is a really cool dude. I love his gun content. Him and I definitely see eye to eye on a lot of more political things. I occasionally get political on my channel, but not all the time. But we're both kind of a more libertarian mindset, where left or right, as long as they're authoritarian, kind of still wrong. We're all about individual liberty and freedom. Other gun channels. Iraq Veteran 8888, definitely love his stuff. Eric does a good job. I think I first started talking to him when I was doing some stuff with Open Carry Texas, and they actually made a video about, what do they call it, open carry assholes. And then I talked to him and said, hey, hold on. Some of this stuff you're talking about is not necessarily true. Let's look at that. And then they created another video called Open Carry Texas Edition, talking about some of the struggles with getting open carry legalized in Texas. So Eric's a cool dude, and they do a really good job of a channel that produces lots and lots of content. I think they've got a couple videos every week, and it's all everything from muzzle loaders to full autos to silencers to cap and ball stuff. It's a wide range of content, so I enjoy it a lot. The Yankee Marshall is one of those channels that I think a lot of people love to hate that channel, and a lot of people follow that channel because they love to hate other channels. But I think the guy's name is David. He doesn't really use his first name a lot. That's a cool channel because I agree with him on a lot of things, and I think that's because I'm of the more libertarian mindset. And I'm also quite anti-NRA like he is right now. So he's got some good content that I really enjoy. Some stuff, again, that I don't agree with. James Yeager is kind of the same way, and I think those two are like direct opposites. But I fall kind of right in the middle, and that's why I appreciate both of them. So James Yeager's got some stuff that I really like and really agree with. Some stuff that's just absolute garbage. And so you kind of got to decide for yourself when watching that one. But I appreciate his channel, and a while back I did that unban James Yeager video just because I thought it was wrong of YouTube to censor his stuff, basically just because they didn't like his content and couldn't express why he was being censored. I thought that was wrong. But he's kind of sold out in some ways. I remember when he said, yeah, you should only use American optics, and he would only run, what is it, Bravo Company and some other designs, and then basically, he gets a free one, and now his opinion changes. I think there are so many people who sell out like that, and my goal is not to be. you know, there are definitely times when I'll talk about cheaper product because it's very good for what you pay. And a lot of times there's nothing wrong with that. But when you make your whole channel about certain mindsets and then you kind of change just because you get a freebie, not necessarily the greatest position. So in a way, I really like James, his content, and sometimes it really bothers me. Think about some other channels here. I'm sure there are tons and tons of other ones. 22 Plankster, pretty cool channel. It's kind of his category. 22 Plankster is a pretty cool channel. His category is kind of narrow. I mean, I don't really do 22 stuff very much. I mean, of course I have 22s, who doesn't? But it's just trick shot stuff, mostly with rimfire. And so I think it got to the point where it's kind of how much can you do in that same category. And that's part of why my channel, originally, if you look at some of my really, really, really old videos, my channel was called Lefty's Guns. And it was about guns, and I was left-handed, so I was talking about, you know, guns that I loved or hated as a lefty. Then I realized that's a pretty narrow category. That's not going to work a long time. And then I started making my channel more about lifestyle stuff. Not just about the guns, but about hunting and about fishing and adventuring and, you know, going and hiking in the mountains and stuff like that. And even today, I'm on my way out to the lease to go work on some stuff, but it's time to just kind of talk about the stuff I'm passionate about. I'm trying to think what other channels are out there. There are just so many good YouTube channels these days. I've gotten to the point that years ago I canceled my TV service just because it was more of a dare to myself. Years ago, there are so many good channels these days that you could never watch enough good content. So that's what makes it tricky. There are so many good YouTube channels these days. You could fill your entire day with watching good content and not run out. There's a lot of just garbage channels out there, but there's so many guys that, you know, it's almost like this online community. Even if you don't know the other people, it's just based on what we're passionate about and what we talk about, you can relate to all these other folks, and that's what I love about YouTube. And years ago, I actually completely canceled my TV service, kind of as a dare to myself, just because I realized how much time can be completely wasted just by sitting on the couch watching TV. And so I kind of said, well, let me see if I can get away from that. And then I realized how much I did still watch YouTube. And I realized there was a lot of value in watching content where I was learning something. And watching content where it was only what I wanted to watch when I wanted to watch it. So not just sitting around like a couch potato. Yeah, I'll sit around and be lazy sometimes. I think everybody does, even if they don't like to admit it. But sitting around and watching stuff that I'm passionate about and that I love, and not just what the mainstream media is trying to force down my throat, or, you know, what tastes good, and, you know, we can almost check out of just so we have something to talk about at the water cooler the next day. So YouTube it's a pretty cool resource. It's sad to see where it's gone in the last couple of years, but that's because of YouTube as a company, not because of the content creators. So some of the content creators that I mentioned previously, whether that's the other gun guys or whether that's channels like SV Delos or some of the other channels that are a little bit different, really, really cool stuff. So check out those other channels, give them a like, subscribe to their stuff if you want to. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do or forcing it down your throat, but if you enjoy my content, I think that's some other cool stuff to check out. So I'm kind of getting stuck in traffic now, so I probably need to focus on driving and less on just talking. So until next time, stay safe, be free, and never stop seeking adventure.